Beloved soul, this is not a coincidence. You were led here at this exact moment because something in your life has just shifted in the spiritual realm. What you have been feeling, the pressure, the confusion, the heaviness that seemed to surround your thoughts like a thick fog, was never meant to last. It was a storm, yes, but not the kind you thought. This was a spiritual storm, a silent battle that had been unfolding around you. And right now, at this very second, it is coming to an end. There is something you must understand, and it may shock you. The confusion you've been living in was not your fault. It was not weakness. It was not failure. It was interference. There were forces trying to cloud your judgment, distort your peace, and make you question your path. But what they did not count on was divine intervention. What they did not expect was the moment when Archangel Michael would step in and say, "Enough." And that moment is now. Can you feel it? There is a subtle change in the atmosphere around you. It may not be loud, it may not be dramatic yet, but something is different. The weight is lifting. The noise is quieting. The storm that once roared in your mind is beginning to fade into silence. This is not imagination. This is not wishful thinking. This is a heavenly shift being activated specifically for you. Archangel Michael, the protector, the warrior of light, is moving through your life at this very moment, clearing what you cannot see. He is cutting through the dense clouds that surrounded your spirit. Those clouds of doubt, fear, overthinking, and emotional confusion. They are being dismantled right now. Every lie that tried to convince you that you were stuck, lost, or alone is being exposed and removed. But here is the part that many people miss before the sky clears. There is always a final moment when the storm feels strongest. That tension you've been feeling recently, that emotional weight that seemed to come out of nowhere, that was not a setback. That was the storm reaching its breaking point. And you, without even realizing it, have already made it through the hardest part. This is why you were called to hear this message. Because heaven does not want you to misinterpret this moment. You are not falling apart, you are coming out of it. You are not losing control, you are being realigned. What felt like chaos was actually the shaking of everything that could not stay with you into your next season. Take a deep breath right now slowly. Let it fill your lungs. And as you exhale, imagine the heaviness leaving your body. This is more than just a breath. It is a signal that you are ready to receive what is coming next. Because as the clouds are being cleared, something powerful is being revealed. The sun has always been there, hidden behind the storm, and that sun represents God's favor over your life. Not a small blessing, not a temporary relief, but a radiant, undeniable shift that will begin to touch every area of your life. Your thoughts, your decisions, your relationships, your purpose. This is the calm after the storm, and it is not empty. It is sacred. It is intentional. It is the space where clarity returns, where peace settles in, and where you begin to see things the way God always intended you to. So do not rush past this moment. Do not doubt it. Do not question whether it's real. You are standing in the middle of a divine transition. Archangel Michael is near, and the atmosphere of your life is being purified. And this is only the beginning. There is something deeper you must now see with spiritual clarity, something that was hidden from you while the storm was raging. What you experienced was not just emotional confusion or random hardship. It was a carefully timed spiritual resistance. The heaviness, the lack of direction, the sudden doubts that seemed to appear out of nowhere, these were not natural patterns of your mind. They were part of an unseen battle that surrounded your life, attempting to delay what was already destined for you. Many people go through life thinking their struggles are purely physical or psychological, never realizing that there is a spiritual dimension influencing everything. And in your case, the confusion was like a thick cloud placed over your path, making it difficult to see clearly, to decide confidently, or to feel at peace. You may have questioned yourself more than usual. You may have felt like your intuition was blocked, like something inside you was being muted or silenced. That was not your true self. That was interference. But here is what changes everything. While you were trying to make sense of what you felt, Archangel Michael was already present in your atmosphere, standing guard even when you did not recognize it. He was not distant. He was not waiting for the perfect moment. He was actively engaged, fighting battles you could not see, pushing back against forces that were trying to overwhelm your spirit. There were moments when you felt like giving up, moments when the confusion became so heavy that it almost convinced you that nothing would change. But those were the exact moments when the battle intensified behind the scenes. The enemy of your peace works in subtle ways, not always through obvious chaos, but through quiet distortion, making you second-guess your worth, your path, and even your faith. It tries to exhaust you mentally so that you lose the strength to keep moving forward. Yet despite all of this, you are still here. You are still listening. You are still searching for truth. That alone is evidence that the storm did not defeat you. In fact, it proves something even more powerful. You were being protected the entire time. Archangel Michael does not always announce his presence with loud signs or dramatic displays. Sometimes his protection comes in the form of endurance. The reason you did not completely lose yourself in that confusion is because he was holding the line, keeping the darkness from going further than it was allowed. What felt overwhelming to you was actually limited in the spiritual realm. And now, something has shifted. The reason the atmosphere is beginning to feel lighter is because the resistance is breaking. The grip that confusion had over your mind is weakening. You may start to notice small changes, moments where your thoughts feel clearer, where decisions don't feel as heavy, where peace begins to return in ways you cannot fully explain. These are not coincidences. These are signs that the clouds are starting to move. But it is important that you understand this part clearly. The storm was not sent to destroy you. It was allowed to reveal something within you. It exposed your resilience. It showed you how strong your spirit truly is, even when everything around you felt uncertain. And most importantly, it positioned you for this exact moment, where clarity is no longer something you chase, but something that is being restored to you. As Archangel Michael continues to clear the atmosphere, what was once hidden will become visible again. The path that seemed lost will begin to reappear. The decisions that once confused you will start to make sense. And the peace you thought was gone will return, not in fragments, but in fullness. You are not in the same place you were before. Even if everything around you looks similar, something inside you is changing. The storm altered your perspective, but now the clearing will transform your direction. So do not resist the shift. Do not cling to the confusion out of habit or fear. Allow it to leave. Let the thoughts that no longer serve you pass like the clouds that are being pushed away. You are not meant to live under that weight anymore. Because what is happening now is not just the end of a storm, it is the beginning of divine clarity taking its rightful place in your life. And as this continues, you will begin to understand something that once felt impossible. You were never abandoned, not even for a moment. Listen closely, because what is happening right now is not just a gentle shift. It is a command that has been released from heaven itself. There comes a moment in every spiritual battle when the tide turns, when what was allowed for a season is suddenly no longer permitted to remain. That moment has arrived in your life. The winds have changed, not by chance, not by your effort alone, but because God has spoken into your situation and declared that the storm has reached its limit. You may not have heard it with your physical ears, but in the spiritual realm, a clear instruction has gone forth. The confusion that once surrounded you has been addressed. The heaviness that lingered in your thoughts has been confronted. And Archangel Michael, who has stood as your defender through it all, has now been released to actively clear what remained. This is not symbolic. This is an active movement happening around your life even now. Have you noticed it? That quiet sense of relief that seems to come out of nowhere. That moment when your mind suddenly feels less crowded. That brief but undeniable feeling that something is going to be okay, even if you cannot yet explain why. These are not random emotions. These are the first signs that the atmosphere is being cleansed. For so long, it felt like you were walking through fog, trying to find your way without clear direction. Every decision felt heavier than it should have been. Every step required more energy than it normally would. But now, the fog is beginning to lift. Not all at once, but steadily, intentionally. And as it lifts, you are starting to see glimpses of what was always there, waiting to be revealed. This is what happens when heaven intervenes. It does not always come with loud announcements or dramatic displays. Sometimes it comes as a quiet but undeniable shift, where what once felt impossible suddenly begins to feel within reach. Where what once confused you now starts to make sense. Where your spirit begins to settle into a peace that feels unfamiliar, yet deeply right. Archangel Michael is not only removing what was clouding your life, he is also restoring your ability to perceive clearly. Your discernment is being sharpened again. Your inner clarity is being reawakened. You are beginning to recognize truth without second-guessing it. You are starting to feel the difference between what drains you and what aligns with you. This is not something you are imagining. This is something being restored to you. And here is something even more powerful. This shift did not begin the moment you noticed it. It began the moment you endured the storm without giving up. It began when you kept moving forward, even when things did not make sense. Heaven was watching your perseverance, your quiet strength, your refusal to completely lose faith even when it felt difficult. And now, that endurance is being honored with clarity. But there is also a responsibility that comes with this moment. As the confusion leaves, you must be willing to let it go fully. Do not return to the same patterns of overthinking that once trapped you. Do not reopen doors that have already been closed for your protection. The clearing that is happening right now is creating space, and what you allow into that space will shape what comes next. So take another deep breath, slower this time. Feel the difference. There is less resistance. There is less weight. That is not temporary. That is the beginning of your new atmosphere forming around you. Archangel Michael is standing in that space, ensuring that what is being removed does not return. He is guarding the clarity that is being restored to you. And as this continues, you will notice something remarkable. Your thoughts will align more easily. Your decisions will feel more natural, and your peace will begin to stabilize. This is your confirmation. The storm has not only weakened, it has been commanded to end. And what follows that command is not emptiness but renewal. It is the return of clarity, the return of peace, and the return of your ability to see your life through the light of God's favor. If this is speaking directly to your spirit, do not ignore it. This is your moment to acknowledge what is happening. Type "I receive divine clarity" in the comments if you feel this shift within you. Blessing code 314 has just been released over your life. And as this sacred atmosphere continues to clear, remember this: what you are stepping into is not just peace, it is purpose restored. Now, if your heart feels moved in this moment, understand that this message is not only for you. It is reaching souls across the world who are still trapped in their storms, waiting for clarity just like you were. When you choose to support this mission through super thanks or a PayPal offering, you are not just giving. You are sowing light into someone else's darkness. The word says, "Give, and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." This is not just a verse. It is a living promise being activated through your obedience. And I want you to hear this as your own declaration. I am a vessel through which God's light flows. As you give, you are aligning yourself with the very movement that brought this message into your life. There are PayPal links in the description and QR codes in every video, placed there as a doorway for those who feel called to act. Do not delay what your spirit is prompting you to do. This is a prophetic moment. As you sow, may clarity increase in your life. May peace overflow in your home, and may every storm that once followed you be replaced with divine favor. Step into this act of faith now. There is an invitation being extended to you right now, and it is more powerful than it appears on the surface. It is simple, yet deeply transformative. Archangel Michael is gently guiding you into a moment that many overlook, the moment to breathe again. Not just physically, but spiritually. Because what you have been carrying for so long has affected more than your thoughts. It has affected your entire inner rhythm. For a long time, your breath has been shallow without you even realizing it. The tension, the uncertainty, the constant inner pressure, it created a silent weight that settled into your body and spirit. You may have felt restless, unable to fully relax, and unable to fully trust the moment you were in. That is what prolonged confusion does. It tightens your inner world, making everything feel restricted, even when there is no visible reason. But now, that restriction is being released. Take a slow, intentional breath in. Hold it for a moment, and then let it out gently. As you do this, something subtle yet powerful begins to happen. The pressure that once felt normal starts to dissolve. The tightness begins to loosen. This is not just a physical reaction. It is a spiritual release taking place within you. Archangel Michael is working in alignment with this moment, clearing not only the atmosphere around you, but also the heaviness within you. Because true clarity cannot fully enter a space that is still holding on to tension. That is why this invitation to breathe is so important. It is the bridge between what you have been carrying and what you are now being prepared to receive. You are not meant to live in a constant state of alertness or worry. You are not meant to feel like you must always brace yourself for what might go wrong. That was part of the storm's effect, to keep you in a cycle of anticipation, always expecting disruption, always preparing for confusion. But that cycle is being broken now. As you continue to breathe deeply, you may begin to notice something unexpected. A sense of calm that does not feel forced. A stillness that does not feel empty but full. This is the presence of peace returning to you, not as a temporary escape, but as a foundation that is being rebuilt within your spirit. And here is something that may surprise you. Peace is not something you have to chase anymore. It is something that is being restored to its rightful place inside you. The storm may have made it feel distant, as if it was something you had to search for or earn. But the truth is, it was always meant to be a natural state for you. Archangel Michael is not only removing what disturbed your peace, he is also reinforcing what sustains it. He is helping you reconnect with a part of yourself that knows how to be still, that knows how to trust, that knows how to exist without constant pressure. This is not weakness. This is alignment. You may feel a quiet shift in how you respond to things. Situations that once triggered overthinking may no longer have the same effect. Thoughts that once spiraled may now pass more easily. This is evidence that the internal pressure is lifting. The atmosphere within you is becoming just as clear as the atmosphere around you. But it is important that you honor this moment. Do not rush back into old patterns of stress or urgency. Do not fill this new space with the same thoughts that once weighed you down. Instead, allow yourself to sit in this calm, even if it feels unfamiliar at first. Let it settle. Let it expand. Because this calm is not fragile. It is being established with divine intention. The more you allow yourself to breathe deeply, the more you align with what Archangel Michael is doing in your life. You are not separate from this process. You are part of it. Your willingness to release tension, to let go of what no longer serves you, is what allows this transformation to fully take place. And as this continues, you will begin to notice a deeper level of clarity emerging. Not rushed, not forced, but steady and reliable. You will find yourself thinking more clearly, feeling more grounded, and moving with a sense of quiet confidence that was not there before. This is the release of spiritual pressure. This is the restoration of your inner balance. And this is the beginning of a new way of living. One where you are no longer controlled by the remnants of the storm, but guided by the calm that follows it. So breathe again, slowly and fully. Not because you have to, but because you finally can. There is something you must come to understand now, something that will change the way you see everything you just went through. The darkness you experienced, the confusion that seemed to linger without explanation, the emotional weight that came and went like unpredictable waves, none of it was permanent. It may have felt endless while you were in it, but in truth, it was always temporary. It was an assignment with an expiration date, even if that date was hidden from you. This is where many people lose hope, because when you are inside the storm, it feels like it defines your reality. It feels like this is just how life is going to be from now on. But that is one of the greatest illusions the storm creates. It tries to convince you that it is permanent so that you stop expecting change. It tries to settle into your identity so that you begin to accept confusion as your normal state. But that was never your truth. You were not created to live under clouds of uncertainty. You were not designed to walk through life constantly second-guessing yourself or feeling disconnected from your own direction. What you experienced was a season, not a sentence. And now that the season is ending, you are being shown something powerful. You survived something that was never meant to stay. Archangel Michael was aware of this from the very beginning. Even when you could not see past the fog, he could already see the clearing that was coming. He understood the timing. He understood the purpose. And most importantly, he understood that you would come through this stronger, clearer, and more aligned than before. What feels like darkness is often preparation in disguise. During the storm, things were being revealed within you that could not have been seen in a state of comfort. Your patience was tested. Your faith was stretched. Your ability to keep going without clear answers was developed. These are not small things. These are foundational strengths that will carry you forward into what is coming next. But here is the part that many overlook. The storm was not only shaping you, it was also removing things that could not go with you into your next season. Certain thoughts, certain attachments, certain ways of seeing yourself and your life, they had to be challenged. They had to be shaken. Because if they remained unchanged, they would have limited what you are about to step into. So what felt like loss or confusion was also a form of clearing. Archangel Michael has been working through this process with precision. Nothing was random. Even the moments that felt the most uncertain were serving a purpose. They were creating space. Space for clarity. Space for peace. Space for truth to return without interference. And now, as the clouds begin to part, you are starting to see the difference. The same life that once felt overwhelming is beginning to feel more manageable. The same thoughts that once felt heavy are beginning to feel lighter. This is not because everything around you has changed instantly, but because what was covering your perception is being removed. You are seeing more clearly now, not just externally, but internally. And with that clarity comes a choice. You can either hold on to the memory of the storm and let it continue to influence how you feel, or you can fully step into the understanding that it has passed. This is where true transformation happens, not just when the storm ends, but when you accept that it is over. Do not let a temporary season define your permanent identity. You are not the confusion you experienced. You are not the doubt that tried to settle in your mind. You are not the heaviness that once surrounded your spirit. Those were conditions you moved through, not characteristics you carry. Archangel Michael is now guiding you into a new awareness, one where you recognize your strength without the distortion of the storm. You begin to see yourself as someone who endured, someone who remained, someone who did not give up even when clarity was absent. That realization alone begins to shift everything. Because when you understand that the darkness was temporary, you also begin to trust that the light you are stepping into is real. You stop questioning whether peace will last. You stop waiting for the next wave of confusion. Instead, you begin to settle into the calm with a sense of assurance. This is what it means to move forward with clarity. The clouds are no longer your covering. The storm is no longer your environment. You are stepping into something new, something stable, something aligned with who you were always meant to be. And as you continue forward, you will carry this understanding with you, that no matter what you face in the future, nothing that comes against you will ever be permanent unless you allow it to be. Because now you know the truth. The clouds were never meant to stay. Something remarkable is beginning to unfold now, and if you pay close attention, you will start to notice it in ways both subtle and undeniable. A light is returning. Not just any light, but the kind that changes how you see everything. The kind that reveals what was hidden, restores what felt distant, and brings warmth back into places that once felt cold and uncertain. This is the rising of God's favor over your life, and it is breaking through with intention. For a long time, it may have felt like you were waiting without knowing what you were waiting for. You were moving forward, but without clarity. You were hoping for change, but without visible signs. That waiting was not empty. It was a space being prepared. And now, as the clouds have been cleared, what was held back is beginning to move toward you. The sun does not struggle to shine. It does not force its way through the sky. It simply appears when the obstruction is removed. That is exactly what is happening in your life right now. God's favor was never absent. It was simply hidden behind what you could not see through. And now that those layers of confusion are being removed, the favor that has always been assigned to you is becoming visible again. Archangel Michael is standing in this moment with you, ensuring that what is being revealed is not interrupted. He is guarding this breakthrough, holding back anything that would try to return and cloud your vision again. This is not just a temporary opening. This is a shift in your environment, a realignment that allows light to remain. You may begin to notice opportunities appearing where there were none before. Conversations may start to feel clearer. Decisions that once felt overwhelming may now feel simple and natural. This is how favor moves. It does not always announce itself loudly, but it changes the flow of your life in ways that cannot be ignored. There will be moments where you pause and realize that something that once confused you now makes perfect sense. Situations that once caused stress may now feel manageable, even easy. This is not because you suddenly became stronger overnight. It is because the resistance that once distorted everything is no longer there. And with that resistance gone, your natural alignment begins to return. God's favor does not just bring blessings, it brings alignment. It places things in their proper position. It restores order where there was disorder. It connects you with what is meant for you and separates you from what is not. This is why you may start to see shifts not only within yourself, but also around you. Certain paths may open while others quietly close. Certain people may draw closer while others drift away. This is not loss. This is alignment. Archangel Michael is actively guiding this process, ensuring that what remains in your life is in harmony with where you are being led. He is not only protecting you from what harms you, but also positioning you for what will elevate you. But here is something you must hold on to. Do not question the light when it begins to shine. After a long storm, it is natural to feel cautious. You may find yourself wondering if the clarity will last, if the peace will remain, if the favor will continue. That hesitation is simply a leftover echo of what you have been through. It is not a reflection of what is happening now. Light that is rising in your life is not fragile. It is steady. It is intentional. It is supported by divine authority. You are being invited to step fully into it, without holding back. Allow yourself to receive what is unfolding. When clarity comes, accept it. When opportunities arise, consider them without fear. When peace settles in, embrace it without expecting it to disappear. This is how you align yourself with the favor that is now active in your life. Because this is not just about external change. This is about an internal shift that allows you to recognize and receive what is already yours. The sun is rising, and with it comes a new perspective, a new rhythm, a new sense of direction. You are no longer navigating through shadows. You are walking in light, and that light will continue to expand as you move forward. So do not look back at the storm as something that defines you. Look at it as something that has passed, something that cleared the way for what you are now stepping into. God's favor is no longer hidden. It is here. It is present. And it is beginning to touch every part of your life. This is your moment to see clearly again. There is a powerful movement happening around you right now, one that goes beyond what your eyes can see. It is not just about what is being revealed. It is also about what is being removed. Because before something new can fully take root in your life, there must be a clearing. And that clearing is happening with precision, guided by the steady hand of Archangel Michael. You may have already begun to sense it. Certain thoughts that once lingered no longer have the same strength. Certain fears that used to rise quickly now seem distant, almost unfamiliar. Even situations or people that once felt deeply connected to your life may now feel out of place. This is not confusion. It is clarity in motion. It is the result of a cleansing wind passing through your life, removing what no longer belongs. Archangel Michael is known as a protector, but his role is not only to defend. He also purifies. He separates what is aligned with your purpose from what is not. And sometimes, that process can feel unexpected, because what is being removed is not always obvious at first. It may be subtle habits, quiet doubts, or emotional attachments that once felt necessary, but are now limiting your growth. Think about the weight you were carrying before. The overthinking, the second-guessing, the emotional heaviness that made even simple things feel complicated. That weight did not come from your true nature. It was something that settled into your life over time, something that attached itself during the storm. And now, it is being lifted. But here is something important to understand. Removal is not loss. It is release. When something is removed from your life during a spiritual clearing, it is not taken away to harm you. It is taken away to free you. It creates space for something better, something clearer, something that aligns with who you are becoming. Yet, there may still be moments where you feel the urge to hold on, simply because it was familiar. Familiarity can be deceptive. Just because something hath been part of your life does not mean it is meant to stay. Archangel Michael is ensuring that what remains in your life is not just comfortable, but correct. There is a difference. Comfort can sometimes keep you in patterns that limit you, while alignment moves you into spaces that elevate you, even if they feel new at first. You may notice that certain environments no longer feel right. Conversations that once held your attention may now feel draining. Even your own inner dialogue is changing. You are becoming more aware of what builds you up and what pulls you down. This awareness is not random. It is part of the cleansing process. The wind that is moving through your life is not chaotic. It is intentional. It is clearing away the residue of the storm, making sure that nothing from that season lingers to interfere with what is coming next. And as this clearing continues, you will begin to feel lighter. Not just emotionally, but spiritually. There will be a sense of ease that replaces the constant tension you once felt. Decisions will come more naturally. Your thoughts will flow more clearly. This is what happens when the unnecessary weight is removed. But there is also a role for you in this process. You must be willing to release what is being taken away. Do not resist the changes you are noticing. Do not try to hold on to thoughts, habits, or connections that no longer feel aligned. Trust the process. Trust the guidance that is unfolding within you. Because what is being cleared is not random. It is precise. Archangel Michael is not removing things carelessly. Every release is purposeful. Every clearing is creating space for something that is better suited for your path. And as this continues, you will begin to see the results more clearly. The new ideas will come to you without force. And new opportunities will begin to align with your direction. You will find yourself moving forward with less resistance and more confidence. This is not because life suddenly became easy, but because what was making it difficult hath been removed. This is the cleansing wind at work. It is preparing you for a new atmosphere, one that supports your growth rather than challenges your peace, one that encourages clarity rather than confusion, one that allows you to move forward without the constant weight of what no longer belongs to you. So allow this process to continue without interruption. Let the wind move freely through your life. Let it carry away what is no longer needed. Let it create space for what is meant to come. Because what is being removed now is making room for something greater. And as that space opens, you will begin to step into a version of your life that feels lighter, clearer, and more aligned than ever before. There is a shift happening now that is deeper than anything you have felt before. It is no longer just about the storm ending or the clouds being cleared. You are stepping into an entirely new atmosphere. This is a spiritual environment that has been prepared for you, a space where peace is not something you search for, but something that surrounds you. For a long time, your atmosphere felt heavy. Even when nothing obvious was wrong, there was a sense of pressure that followed you. It affected how you thought, how you felt, and how you responded to everything around you. That was the residue of the storm. But now, that environment is changing. The air is different. The energy is lighter. A tension that once lingered is no longer holding its place. This is what happens when Archangel Michael completes a clearing. He does not leave you in emptiness. He establishes a new atmosphere, one that reflects divine order instead of confusion. And you are beginning to feel that now, even if you cannot fully explain it. You may notice moments where everything feels still, but not in a way that feels empty or uncertain. It feels full, grounded, and calm. This is not the silence of confusion. This is the silence of peace. It is a space where your thoughts can settle without interference, where your emotions can stabilize without pressure. And within this new atmosphere, something important is happening. You are being realigned. Your inner world is coming into harmony with what is unfolding around you. The thoughts that once felt scattered are beginning to organize themselves. The emotions that once felt unpredictable are becoming steady. You are no longer reacting to everything. You are responding with clarity. This is a sign that you are entering a new season. A season where peace is not interrupted by constant doubt. A season where clarity does not come and go, but remains consistent. A season where you are no longer trying to escape confusion, because confusion is no longer your environment. But here is something you must be aware of. This new atmosphere requires you to accept it fully. There may be moments where your mind tries to return to old patterns, simply because that is what it has been used to. You may find yourself expecting disruption, even when there is none. That is not a sign that the storm is returning. It is simply the echo of what you have already moved through. Do not give that echo your attention. Instead, focus on what is present now. The calm, the clarity, the steadiness that is beginning to define your experience. This is your new reality forming around you, and the more you align with it, the stronger it becomes. Archangel Michael is standing within this atmosphere, not only as a protector, but as a guardian of this new season. He is ensuring that what hath been established is not easily disturbed. He is holding the space so that you can fully step into it without resistance. You may begin to notice that things are flowing more naturally. Situations that once felt complicated may now resolve themselves with ease. Decisions that once required overthinking may now feel clear and direct. This is not coincidence. This is alignment. You are no longer operating under pressure. You are moving within peace. And within this peace, you will begin to see something even more powerful, your direction becoming clear without force. You will not have to chase clarity. It will come to you. You will not have to push for answers. It will reveal themselves at the right time. This is the beauty of the new atmosphere you are entering. It supports you. It guides you. It allows you to move forward without the constant weight of uncertainty. So allow yourself to settle into this. Do not rush. Do not question it. Let this new season unfold naturally. Trust that what is being established is stable, not temporary. Because this is not just a moment of relief. This is a transformation of your environment. If you feel this peace surrounding you, if you sense this shift in your spirit, then acknowledge it. Type "I step into divine peace" in the comments if this resonates with you. Blessing code 808 has now been activated over your life. And as you stand in this new atmosphere, understand something sacred. This peace you are experiencing is not only for you. It is meant to flow through you and reach others who are still searching for their calm after the storm. When you support this mission through super thanks or a PayPal offering, you are helping carry this peace into places where confusion still lingers. The word declares, "Blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in him. They will be like a tree planted by the water." As you give, you become that tree, rooted and overflowing, extending life to others. Let this be your declaration. I am a channel of God's peace, and I release it into the world. There are PayPal links waiting for you in the description and QR codes in every video, placed as a doorway for your obedience in this moment. Do not hesitate. This is not just giving, it is alignment with what God is doing right now. As you sow, may your life remain in this atmosphere of peace, and may every step you take be guided by clarity and favor. Act on this now. There is something awakening within you now, something that does not come from outside influence but from deep within your spirit. It is a quiet recognition, a subtle knowing that something has changed. You may not be able to fully explain it to others, but you can feel it. That sense of calm, that gentle clarity, that inner steadiness. It is your spirit recognizing the shift that has already taken place. For so long, your mind was trying to lead while your spirit was being clouded. There was a disconnect, a struggle between what you felt and what you thought. You questioned your instincts. You doubted your inner voice. You hesitated even when something inside you was guiding you. But with the effect of the storm, it disrupted your connection with your own spiritual awareness. But now, that connection is being restored. Your spirit is beginning to speak again, and this time, it is not being overshadowed by confusion. It is clear, it is steady, and it is aligned with truth. You may notice that you are sensing things more easily. You are picking up on what feels right and what does not without needing to overanalyze it. That is not coincidence. That is your natural discernment returning to its rightful place. Archangel Michael is playing a vital role in this restoration. As he cleared the atmosphere around you, he also created the conditions necessary for your inner clarity to rise again. Because true guidance does not come from noise. It comes from stillness. And now that stillness has been reestablished, your spirit can finally be heard without interference. Trust what you are feeling. This is one of the most important steps in this new season. The clarity you are experiencing is not something fragile that can disappear at any moment. It is something that is being rebuilt from within. The more you trust it, the stronger it becomes. The more you listen to it, the more accurate it feels. You may find yourself making decisions more quickly, but with greater confidence. You may notice that certain paths feel naturally right, while others no longer hold the same appeal. This is not random. This is alignment in action. Your spirit is guiding you toward what is meant for you, and gently pulling you away from what is not. There is no need to force anything anymore. In the past, you may have felt like you had to push through uncertainty, to figure everything out through effort and persistence. But now, things are different. The answers are not coming through struggle. They are coming through awareness, through quiet realization, through a sense of knowing that does not require explanation. This is a higher level of clarity, and with it comes a new kind of confidence, not loud or overwhelming, but calm and steady. It is the kind of confidence that does not need validation from others. It does not rely on external confirmation. It simply exists because it is rooted in truth. Archangel Michael is standing with you in this moment, reinforcing this connection. He is ensuring that what you are sensing is not distorted again. He is protecting your ability to discern clearly, to recognize truth without confusion, to move forward without hesitation. But there is something you must do to fully step into this. Do not dismiss what you feel. There may be moments where your mind tries to question your clarity, simply out of habit. It may try to analyze what your spirit already understands. When that happens, pause. Return to that quiet knowing. Remind yourself that you have already moved beyond the storm. You are no longer operating from confusion. You are operating from clarity now. And the more you honor that, the more natural it becomes. You will begin to see that your spirit recognizes what your mind is still catching up to. It already knows that the atmosphere has changed. It already senses that peace is now your foundation. It already understands that you are moving in the right direction. So trust it. Let it guide you without resistance. Let it lead you into decisions that feel aligned. Let it show you what to embrace and what to release. This is not something you need to learn from the beginning. It is something you are remembering. Because this clarity has always been part of you. It was simply covered for a time. Now it is uncovered. Now it is active. Now it is leading you forward. And as you continue to trust this inner guidance, you will find that your path becomes clearer with every step. Not because everything is revealed at once, but because you are no longer walking in uncertainty. You are walking in awareness. This is your spirit recognizing the shift, and it is guiding you exactly where you are meant to go. Now that clarity has begun to return, and your spirit is recognizing this shift, there is something important that must be understood. Clarity is not just something you receive. It is something you learn to walk in. This new light that has entered your life is not meant to be a brief moment of relief. It is meant to become your way of living, your new normal, your steady foundation. But walking in clarity requires awareness. For a long time, your thoughts were influenced by confusion, and even though that confusion has been lifted, there may still be traces of old patterns trying to resurface. Not because they belong to you anymore, but because they were once familiar. The mind can sometimes return to what it knows, even when something better has already taken its place. This is where your awareness becomes powerful. You now have the ability to recognize the difference between clarity and confusion. You can feel when your thoughts are aligned and when they are not. You can sense when something brings peace and when something tries to disturb it. This awareness is your guide, and the more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Archangel Michael is not only clearing your path, he is also strengthening your ability to remain on it. He is helping you develop a new rhythm, one that is not driven by urgency or pressure, but by peace and alignment. You are no longer meant to rush decisions or overanalyze every step. Instead, you are being guided to move with intention, to pause when needed, and to act when clarity is present. This is a different way of living. It may feel unfamiliar at first, especially if you are used to constantly thinking ahead or trying to control every outcome. But what you are stepping into now is something far more stable. It is a way of moving through life where you are not reacting to everything around you, but responding from a place of inner balance. And that balance is what keeps you in clarity. One of the most important things you can do in this season is to protect your peace. Not in a defensive way, but in an intentional way. Pay attention to what you allow into your mind and your environment. Notice what strengthens your clarity and what tries to weaken it. This does not mean avoiding life. It means choosing alignment. There will be moments where you are faced with situations that once would have pulled you back into confusion. But now, you will notice the difference. You will feel the contrast between what is clear and what is not. And in that moment, you will have a choice. Choose clarity. Choose the thoughts that bring peace instead of the ones that create tension. Choose the direction that feels aligned instead of the one that feels forced. Choose the responses that come from calm understanding instead of reactive emotion. This is how you remain in the light that has been restored to you. Archangel Michael is supporting you in this process, not by controlling your actions, but by strengthening your discernment. He is helping you recognize what belongs in your life and what does not. He is guiding you gently, allowing you to step forward with confidence instead of hesitation. And as you continue to walk in this clarity, something powerful begins to happen. Your life starts to reflect it. The more you remain aligned internally, the more your external world begins to organize itself in the same way. Situations become simpler. Interactions become smoother. Opportunities begin to match your direction. This is not coincidence. This is the natural result of alignment. Clarity creates order, and order creates flow. You will find that you no longer need to push as hard as you once did. Things begin to move with less resistance. Doors open more naturally. Solutions appear without excessive effort. This is what happens when you are no longer working against confusion. But remember, this is a process. You do not have to be perfect in maintaining this clarity. There may still be moments where old thoughts try to return, where uncertainty briefly appears. When that happens, do not be discouraged. Simply return to what you now know. Return to your breath. Return to your awareness. Return to the peace that has been restored within you. Because that peace is always available to you now. It is not something that comes and goes. It is something that has been reestablished as part of your foundation. So walk in it. Let it guide your decisions. Let it shape your perspective. Let it influence how you move forward. This is how you stay connected to the light that has been revealed in your life. You are no longer navigating through confusion. You are walking in clarity. And with every step you take, that clarity will continue to grow stronger, leading you into a life that feels more aligned, more peaceful, and more certain than ever before. There is something that is about to happen in your life that will remove any remaining doubt you may still carry. Until now, much of what you have experienced has been internal. The peace, the clarity, the shift in your thoughts and emotions. You have felt it within you, sensed it in your spirit, and recognized that something has changed. But now, what hath been happening inside of you is about to become visible around you. The evidence is coming. This is the stage where God's favor begins to manifest in ways that you can see, touch, and experience in your daily life. It will no longer be something you simply feel. It will become something you witness. Situations will begin to align in ways that confirm what your spirit already knows. Doors that once seemed closed will open. Paths that once felt uncertain will become clear and direct. You may begin to notice that things start falling into place without the same level of struggle you once faced. Conversations may lead to unexpected opportunities. Delayed situations may suddenly move forward. Answers that once felt out of reach may appear with surprising ease. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations. This is how divine favor works. It does not always arrive all at once, but when it begins to move, it becomes undeniable. Archangel Michael is still present in this phase, not only protecting the clarity you have received, but also ensuring that what is unfolding around you is aligned with your path. He is guarding these openings, making sure that what enters your life now is in harmony with what has been restored within you. You may find yourself in moments where you pause and realize that something you once struggled with is no longer an issue. Something that once caused confusion now feels simple. Something that once brought stress now feels resolved. These are the signs that the shift is complete. But there is also something important for you to remember during this stage. Do not minimize what is happening. Sometimes, when change begins to appear gradually, it is easy to overlook its significance. You may be tempted to explain it away, to see it as ordinary or expected. But what is unfolding in your life right now is not ordinary. It is the result of a spiritual transformation that has taken place over time. Every moment of confusion you endured, every time you pushed forward without clear direction, every moment you chose not to give up, it all led to this. And now, you are beginning to see the reward of that endurance. There will be clear signs placed in your path, moments that feel too aligned to be random, situations that resolve in ways you could not have planned. These are not accidents. These are markers, showing you that you are exactly where you are meant to be. Pay attention to them. Let them strengthen your trust. Let them remind you that what you felt internally is now becoming real externally. This is how your confidence grows, not just through belief, but through experience. And as this continues, you will begin to move with a different kind of assurance. Not the kind that comes from guessing or hoping, but the kind that comes from knowing. A knowing that you are guided, a knowing that you are protected, knowing that what is unfolding is not working against you, but for you. This is the alignment of your inner and outer world. The clarity within you is now shaping the reality around you. The peace you have found is now influencing the situations you encounter. The direction you have sensed is now becoming visible in the opportunities before you. This is the evidence of God's favor in motion. It is not distant. It is not delayed. It is happening now, step by step, moment by moment. So do not hesitate when you see these signs. Do not question whether you are ready. You have already been prepared through everything you have experienced. You have already been strengthened through the storm. You have already been aligned through the clearing. And now, you are simply stepping into what was always meant for you. Archangel Michael stands as a witness to this transition, ensuring that what has been established continues to unfold without interference. He has guided you through the storm, protected you during the confusion, and now stands beside you as the evidence begins to appear. This is your confirmation. The shift is not only real, it is active. And as you continue forward, you will see more and more signs that everything you went through was leading you to this exact moment where clarity is no longer something you seek, but something you live in, fully and completely. Beloved, now you stand in a place that once felt so far away, a place of calm, a place of stillness, a place where your spirit can finally rest without interruption. The storm that once surrounded you has passed, not partially, not temporarily, but completely. And what remains is not emptiness, but a sacred peace that has been prepared just for you. Feel this moment. There is no urgency here. There is no pressure. There is no confusion trying to pull your thoughts in different directions. What you feel now is the gentle presence of divine order settling into your life. It is the quiet assurance that everything is exactly as it should be. This is the calm after the storm, and it carries a depth that words can barely describe. Archangel Michael is still near, not as a warrior in battle, but as a guardian of your peace. His presence is steady, watchful, and protective. He has cleared the atmosphere of your life, removed what clouded your vision, and now he stands to ensure that this clarity remains undisturbed. You are not alone in this calm. You are being held within it. Allow yourself to rest here. So often, after a difficult season, there is a tendency to stay alert, to expect something to go wrong again, to hold on to a sense of caution even when it is no longer needed. But this moment is different. You do not need to brace yourself anymore. You do not need to prepare for another storm. What has been established in your life now is stable. Let your mind settle. Let your body relax. Let your spirit fully receive the peace that is now surrounding you. This is not just a pause between storms. This is a new beginning, a new way of living where you are no longer defined by confusion, no longer controlled by uncertainty, no longer weighed down by what once held you back. You have moved through something significant, and now you are stepping into something even greater. The sun of God's favor is shining clearly over your life. It is warming every part of your journey, bringing light to places that once felt hidden, and revealing a path that is filled with clarity, purpose, and alignment. You do not have to search for direction anymore. You do not have to struggle for peace. These things are now part of your foundation. And as you move forward, carry this knowing with you. No storm that comes in the future will ever have the same power over you again. Because now you understand something you did not fully see before. You understand that storms pass. You understand that clarity returns. You understand that you are always supported, even when you cannot see it. This understanding changes everything. It gives you a quiet confidence that remains even in uncertain moments. It gives you a steady peace that does not depend on circumstances. It allows you to move forward with trust instead of fear. To rest here, in this calm. Let it fill you completely. Let it restore every part of you that felt tired, every thought that felt heavy, every emotion that felt unsettled. This is your time to receive, not to strive. Archangel Michael has done his work, and now you are free to live in what hath been established. If this message has reached your heart, if you feel this peace surrounding you, then acknowledge it. Type "I rest in divine peace" in the comments if you receive this fully. Blessing code 999 has now been released over your life. And as you rest in this calm, hear this as a sacred calling. There are still many souls walking through storms, still searching for the very peace you have now received. When you give through Super Thanks or so through the PayPal link placed in the description and QR code, you are not just supporting a channel. You are releasing light into someone else's darkness. The Lord declares, "Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy," and this word is alive over you right now. Say this within your heart: I am chosen to spread God's light. As you act on this, you align yourself with a divine flow that multiplies peace, clarity, and favor back into your life. Do not hesitate. Do not delay. This is a prophetic moment of obedience. As you give, may your home remain covered in peace, may your path remain clear, and may every blessing assigned to you continue to unfold. Step forward and release your seed now.